School of Entrepreneurship. I'm the coordinator for the Student Engagement Center. And we put on the InNOLEvation Challenge every year. So this is the first workshop out of 10. This is just a brief information session just to go over the competition and see if you have any questions and kind of get the ball rolling that way. So what is the InNOLEvation Challenge? It is a business model competition, and it uses the lean startup methods in the business model canvas, which we'll show you in a few more slides. The lean startup focuses more on the hypothesis-driven experimentation rather than spending time focusing on working on one specific product that nobody wants without really testing it, and then finding out later down the road that nobody actually will use your product. So you basically will go through certain steps based off of the business model canvas to help you solidify your idea and make sure that it's valuable and that a customer will actually want it and buy it. So the main goal of this competition is to make it a valuable learning experience for all participants. Workshops that we'll have will help you identify and precisely define your assumptions about the new venture, test those assumptions in the field, and then pivot or change based on what you've learned. The prizes of the InNOLEvation Challenge, if you like money, $10,000 is for the best overall winner from our sponsor, Mark K. Scott. He sponsors this challenge every year, so thank you, Mark. The other prizes are $4,000 for strongest or social environmental impact, which is also called the Jim Moran Challenge Social Venture Award. $4,000 for the spirit of entrepreneurship, most viable, most scalable, most innovative, and there's $500 per finalist if none of the other awards have been won, and they're still in the finals. Admission to the Leon County Research and Development Authority Entrepreneurial Excellence Program, that was a mouthful, will be awarded to the first place winners. That's a 10-class course on the core business functions. It's extremely helpful. It's a great, valuable tool. Admission to Domi Station will be awarded to the first and second place winners. Does anybody know what Domi Station is or have heard of it? One person? Yay! It's another, it is an incubator and co-working space. It's over by Railroad Square, if anybody knows where that is. If not, it's off of Gaines and Railroad Square. It's kind of near in between FAMU and our campus. But it's a great co-working space, and there's a lot of other opportunities to meet other student startups and other businesses in the community. This is our 2018 winner, Drygo. They developed a super awesome umbrella that is part of or attached to a wheelchair, since quadriplegics and other people who use wheelchairs usually struggle when it comes time to going out and wheeling around in the rain. They are also all engineering students. They happen to be engineering students. Not everybody has to be an engineering student to compete in this business competition. They just happen to all be engineering students. And I think, Mr. Devine, were they your students? This is Mike Devine, everybody. Hi, sorry, I just wanted to introduce you briefly. Oh no, I did technical difficulties, sorry guys. There we go. So, eligibility guidelines. Competing teams should have no more than 5 degree-seeking students enrolled for 6 credit hours or more at FSU at the time of application. So the time of application being November 2nd, that's when the applications, the first round is due. So if you are graduating in December, you can still apply, you can still compete. Since this competition goes over from this semester to the next semester, you're still able and eligible to compete in the final if you make it that far. So additional team members can be added with approval. There's different stages, which we'll go over later in the PowerPoint. The student team must have a minimum of 51% ownership and voting control over, in the venture, and must have played a major role in creating the venture. So you can have part of your team like outside help from non-FSU students. They just can't have more than 49% control over the business. The business model submitted must be the original work done by the student team. The company must not have booked substantial revenue prior to September 1st, 2018, and by substantial revenue we mean if you already have a business and it's already doing extremely well, making a huge profit, this isn't really the competition for you. This is more focused on startups and the learning experience of all startups, and that way I'm mumbling, but yes. So the more information on the InNOLEvation Challenge, hopefully the tech will work with me, is at our website, and it has more eligibility details. So our website is jimmoranschool.fsu.edu, and Center for Student Engagement, which is my department, is up here. And all you have to do is go down and scroll to here, and you'll get to this. This is where the guidelines and eligibility requirements are, and there's more details on that, along with more information, which we will also go over in the slide. So this is the business model canvas. This can also be found online. There's different forms of it. There's different layouts. Print it out, fill it out. We'll be going over the different segments about the other workshops that we'll be having. And that's what the whole competition is based off of. So stage one of the competition is developing your value proposition. What value will you deliver to the customer? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? What is the need that you're filling? Which is, in this stage of the competition, is the actual initial application that's due on November 2nd. Including the actual value proposition in the application, you're going to include all of the names of the team members, the business idea, and company name. Revisions are allowed in the future submissions, which we'll go over in the next stages. And to show you, this is the application website. The application is also found on our website. So this is the landing page. All you have to do is sign in with your FSU ID. You don't have to create any password or anything else. You'll just be using your FSU ID. And that's where the application and the rest of the stages of the application will be submitted. Stage two is developing your hypothesis or assumptions. Who's your customer? What do they want? How do they want it? How will you get it to them? What will you need to get started? The value proposition, key resources, key activities, customer relationships, channels, customer segments, and key partners, which are all on the business model canvas, will be part of this submission. The stage two is due by January 14th. The submission will also include everything that I just listed, minus the costs and revenue section of the business model canvas. So this is also the final opportunity to drop and add team members. I know I'm going through this really fast. I was not prepared to present today, so I apologize if I'm like zooming through this. Judges will then narrow down the participants to 15 semifinalists after this round, and those 15 semifinalists will be announced on January 18th. Stage three of the competition will test your assumptions testing your assumptions with potential customers to see if they're accurate. You can reset or pivot your hypothesis. Does anybody know what pivoting is? Anybody? Yeah.
You discover that your product's not working, but your original hypothesis isn't working, and you found it's working for something else, so you switch your whole business model towards that.
Exactly. Yes. So when going out and reaching out to potential customers and seeing if they like that, exactly what you said, and you find out that at first you wanted to market to the male population, and then you realize this is an extreme example and probably isn't, but then you find out that really your product or your service is geared towards females, and that's when you would make that pivot or switch. So what value will you deliver? How will you satisfy that customer? You'll be summarizing all of this testing and pivoting that you have done and working the stage two sections of the business model canvas. Stage three will be submitted on February 6th, and this includes the entire business model canvas, so also the cost and revenue portion. So the semifinalists will be taking place on February 8th in front of a panel of judges. It's going to be taking place in the new Jim Moran building downtown. That's one of our locations. It's a new and fancy building, and our other campus location is in the Shaw building here on campus. So part of stage three And things to keep in mind when doing and going through stage 3 is the steps of a successful business model validation. So 1, identify and track your assumptions with business model canvas. So using that printout and going through those. Testing your assumptions in the field with customers and pivoting if your model is wrong. A good way to work out number 2 is doing surveys. Using surveys, and we as FSU students have a great resource called Qualtrics. It's located on myfsu.edu. If you go to your homepage and it's under resources on the left-hand tab, Qualtrics is where you can build surveys and then send them out to your potential customers and get feedback based off of that. Another good idea is to get a table or just go out to Market Wednesdays, and if you have a tangible project, or even if you don't, like going and explaining and asking questions to potential customers that way, because that's a huge, not resource, or is resources, but that's where a lot of people and students come and gather. So number 3 is demonstrate that you have gained market traction using feedback from actual customers, which ties into number 2. You have to actually use that feedback that you get from those surveys or those questions that you ask your potential customers. Stage 4, prepare and submit a 1-page executive summary of the business that will be sent to the judges for the final presentations. Submission 4 is due February 6th, and it summarizes your entire project from beginning to end. You will be presenting to a panel of judges on March 1st at the finals, where the winners are chosen. And that's also at the Jim Moran building downtown. So, the judging criteria. This is a very long page. So, did the team identify a significant problem or unmet need and create a venture to solve this problem? What is the size of the market and what percentage do you expect to capture? Has the team developed a prototype or minimum viable product? And how far along are you on the product cycle? Does the team have significant evidence that the solution is validated, which includes letters of intent, purchase, contracts, sales, and partners? How will you, how will the prize money actually help your venture? For social ventures, is this addressing a social or environmental problem? And is that the primary purpose of the creation of the enterprise? If so, why? Does it have an innovative, systematic approach to addressing the social environmental problem? If so, how? And does the organization have a sustainable approach to achieving its mission and implementing and scaling its innovative approach to addressing the social or environmental problem? If your venture does not address a social or environmental problem as its primary purpose, does it positively impact society in some other manner? So as stated in the earlier slides, there are many awards. So to go over them, the most innovative award, and most of these are all $4,000 as listed on the slide. Most innovative goes to the creativity, the disruptiveness, ability to solve a problem in new ways, the prototype or MVP developed, and they demonstrated differentiation from competitors. The strongest social/environmental impact, which is called the Jim Moran Challenge Social Venture Award. The primary purpose is addressing the social environmental problem, the systemic approach to addressing social and environmental problem, the sustainable approach to achieving its mission, it positively impacts society, and it meets the triple bottom line. Does anybody know what the triple bottom line means? Yeah, I'm gonna pick on you forever. Go ahead.
It's where you benefit kind of every aspect, like a social aspect and economic aspect, and making profit at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Particular.
Right, so there's also the 3 Ps, the people, planet, and profit. So a lot of companies really do just focus on profit, but you don't have to. There's ways to benefit people, the planet, like being eco-friendly, not testing on animals, things of that nature. So that all falls under the Social Venture Award. The Spirit of Entrepreneurship Award is based off of the presentation, the passion behind the business, character, teamwork, and the participation. So in regards to participation, if you attend these workshops, or at least one person from your team attends these workshops and you take attendance, you get a point towards the overall score, which also goes towards this Spirit of Entrepreneurship Award. So for most viable, the businesses has a strong first-year sales, it's proven validation of market, demonstrated execution ability, and validated validated realistic financial model, demonstrated differentiation from the competitors. For most scalable, has a strong 5-year sales, actionable plan for growth, potential for new markets, and potential for outside investment, and probability for great global expansion. And best overall is the Mark K. Scott Infinity Funds Prize, which is $10,000. The highest points overall of all the criteria added together. And if you are part of the finalists and don't meet one of these awards, then you get $500. So everybody's a winner if you're in the finalist. So part of this is also forming a team. It isn't required, but we do recommend students work in teams of at least 3 people rather than working alone. It's really hard to get by with just working by yourself because not necessarily everybody can do every part of the business. Attending workshops to meet people and join a team like you are now, attending this workshop. Recruiting students from across different disciplines or majors to join your team. The best teams all have different majors and interests. And remember that the deadline to form your team is January 14th. So that's I think it's part of stage 3. So you can add or delete any team members before then. But by January 14th, you have to have a concrete team. How to apply is on our website. The deadline again is November 2nd at midnight, and it's open to FSU students only, enrolled again for at least 6 credit hours at the time of application. The others that can be on the team, but FSU students need to have at least 51% and ownership and control. Let's see. These again are our important dates with all the other workshops, and I can also go to a more detailed timeline of this. Also, this PowerPoint will be online under our resources, so I know I'm talking really fast and whizzing through it, so you can go back and look at it if you want, along with all the other workshops. So here we have our timeline, all the workshop titles and who's presenting, and also all the deadlines for each stage of the competition, along with a link to where you are going to apply for each stage. Here. And again, jimmoranschool.fsu.edu under Center for Student Engagement. You have the overview, judging criteria, guidelines and requirements, resources. Right now we have our previous workshops up in PowerPoints, and we will be adding ours, I think starting next week. Last year's winners. There we go. Alright, switching to things about dropping. Alright, so if you do have any questions or need help, my name is Caitlin Simpson. I'm the coordinator of the student engagement. Wendy Plant is the director of the student engagement. Reach out to her if you have any questions as well. Who has questions?